All right, let's try and solve a puzzle that I think is absolutely fascinating. Picture two people, right? Both earn the exact same decent income, let's say $75,000 a year. You fast forward 10, maybe 20 years, and one of them is financially free, and the other is still stuck pretty much right where they started. How on earth does that happen?
I mean, that's the real question, isn't it? It gets right to the core of what personal finance is all about. It proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that building wealth isn't just about the number on your paycheck. So, what is it? What's the secret ingredient that leads to such totally different lives? Okay, now this slide right here, this just shatters one of the biggest myths about money. We're all taught to believe that a huge salary is the golden ticket, right? But just look at this. A shocking 36% of people earning over 200 grand a year are still living paycheck to paycheck. Let that sink in. More than 1 out of every 3 high earners are just one emergency away from real trouble. This proves it's not about income, it's about what's left over. And that brings us to what we can call the $200,000 paradox. See, the thing that really separates the rich from the broke, it isn't what you make. No, it's what you do with what you make. It really just comes down to your habits, your day-to-day decisions, and your mindset. You know, the classic book, The Millionaire Next Door, has this brilliant analogy for this. It's like a sports game. You've got your offense and your defense. Your income, that's your offense. It's how many points you score. But your spending, your budgeting, your planning, that's your defense. And you can have the best offense in the world, but if your defense is leaky, you're never going to win the game. Wealth is built on a rock-solid defense. So let's walk down the first path, the one that leads to financial struggle. It's actually paved with a few really common and totally avoidable mistakes. And honestly, just understanding what these traps are is the first most important step to making sure you sidestep them completely. And mistake number 1 is the classic trap, lifestyle inflation. You know how it goes. That pay raise finally hits your bank account and boom, suddenly you need a bigger apartment, a fancier car, more expensive restaurants. Your income goes up, but your spending goes right up there with it, like its shadow. You're running faster on the treadmill, but you're not actually going anywhere. The truly wealthy, they flip that script. As their income grows, they intentionally keep their lifestyle pretty much the same, and they turn that new income into actual freedom. Okay, the second big one is piling on what we call bad debt. This is the nasty stuff. High-interest credit cards, personal loans for vacations, car payments on a vehicle that's losing value every single day. This kind of debt doesn't just slow you down, it's actively working against you. It's like trying to swim upstream while carrying an anchor. Let's just play out a quick scenario. Meet Graham and Humphrey. They both find an extra $500 a month in their budget. Graham uses his to attack his 20% interest credit card. Smart, right? After a year, he's made some good progress. But Humphrey, who doesn't have that debt, he takes his $500 a month and invests it. In that same year, he's already got a $6,000 portfolio that's starting to work for him. Same amount of money, totally different results. But here's where the story gets really crazy. Humphrey's little $6,000 investment, if you just let it sit and grow for 30 years, it could easily balloon into over $60,000. So Graham didn't just pay down debt, he paid with his future. He basically traded tens of thousands of dollars in potential growth just to service that loan. That's the brutal, devastating power of opportunity cost. And the third common mistake sounds simple, but it's deadly, just not knowing where your money is going. I mean, if you're not tracking your spending, it's just so easy for money to disappear. A coffee here, lunch out there, a subscription you forgot about. It adds up way faster than you think, and then you get to the end of the month and wonder why there's nothing left. And get this, there's actually science behind why this is so hard. An MIT study found that when we pay with a credit card, it literally activates the reward center in our brain. It kind of numbs the pain of payment that we feel when we hand over actual physical cash. This makes it super easy to overspend without even realizing it. So tracking your money, it's basically the antidote to this modern-day mind trick. All right, enough of the doom and gloom. Let's talk about the other path, the path to wealth. Because the people who succeed, they don't just avoid the big mistakes, they actively build powerful habits. So let's look at the 3 that matter most. The first habit is an absolute game changer, investing early. Just look at this. Humphrey starts investing at age 20. He does it for just 10 years and puts in a total of $24,000. Then he stops, completely. Graham waits until he's 30. He's way more disciplined and invests for 35 years straight, putting in a whopping $84,000. So who has more money at age 65? It's Humphrey. It's not even close. That 10-year head start, thanks to the magic of compounding, was more powerful than investing over 3 times more money. It's just insane. So how do you make sure you're actually investing consistently like that? Well, that brings us to habit number 2. Pay yourself first. This little phrase flips the entire script. See, most people spend their money and then try to save whatever's left over. This way, you save first. The second your paycheck hits your account, a piece of it automatically gets whisked away to your investments. It's a simple change that makes building wealth your default setting, not an afterthought. And the third habit is really about a shift in focus, a shift in what you get excited to buy. Wealthy people prioritize buying assets, things that will make them more money over time, like stocks, real estate, or a business. People who struggle financially often get excited about buying liabilities, things that just drain their money, like a fancy car with a huge monthly payment or luxury goods that lose their value. One path builds your wealth, the other just slowly eats it away. Okay, so we've covered the habits, right? The what to do. But what is it that makes someone actually do these things consistently? Well, that all comes down to the why, your psychology. Your habits are really just a mirror reflecting your deepest beliefs about money. And that mindset, that's the engine that drives everything else. You can really boil it down to 2 core mindsets. Someone with a scarcity mindset lives with this constant background worry about money running out. They see risk around every corner, and they tend to just hoard cash, terrified to invest it. On the other side, you have an abundance mindset. This person believes money is a tool for growth. They believe more can always be created, so they're willing to take smart risks and invest in themselves and their future. And these mindsets don't just come out of nowhere. They're often forged by our life experiences. Think about a man who grew up during a war. He lost absolutely everything. Of course, that experience would forge a deep-seated scarcity mindset in him, a powerful belief that you have to hoard every single thing you have. And these financial blueprints, they often get passed down silently from one generation to the next. So just recognizing which mindset you lean towards is a huge first step. The next is to build the systems that support a better one, no matter what your past looks like. So how do you actually put all this into practice? Let's boil it all down into a super simple blueprint you can use to start building wealth, like today. Okay, here it is, your 4-step blueprint. Step 1, make a plan. You gotta give every single dollar a job to do. Create a budget. That puts you in control. Step 2, eliminate that high-interest consumer debt. It's an anchor holding you back, and you need to cut the rope. Step 3, invest with purpose. Automate it so your future self gets taken care of without you even thinking about it. And step 4, the golden rule of it all. Live on less than you make. That gap between what you earn and what you spend, that's the magical space where all wealth is built. When you step back and look at the whole picture, it really seems like the journey to financial success isn't really about complicated spreadsheets or picking the perfect stock. It's about understanding our own quirks, our psychology, and our behaviors. Which, leads to one last big question. Is mastering money less about mastering math and more about mastering yourself?